Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Terminology Leading Practices stream of the SNOMED CT Expo in 2022. My name is Roy Davison. I'm the Chief Information Officer at SNOMED International, and I'll be moderating today's session. All questions will be answered at the conclusion of the presentation. Any online attendees, please use the Q&A box on your Zoom app to type your questions to the presenter. And anybody here in the room, please use the microphone provided when we get to that point. I'm now very pleased to introduce Hannah Kang from the Seoul National University and the Kakao Health Corp, who will be presenting SNOMED CT education and training in South Korea. Over to you.
Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Hannah Kang, clinical terminologist of Kakao Healthcare Company. I will introduce you Korean SNOMED CT training course, one with brief information about adoption status of SNOMED CT in South Korea. Next, please. South Korea joined the SNOMED CT International as the 39th member in 2020 and is preparing stakeholders to adopt SNOMED CT as a standard clinical terminology for healthcare data interoperability. As a part of this effort, Korean Ministry of Health and Welfare introduced a series of education and training programs on SNOMED CT since 2020. One of the programs is a 2-day training course on mapping between healthcare terms used in Korea to SNOMED CT. Next, please. The progress of healthcare standardization in South Korea. For the beginning, the computerization of Korean medical institutions began back in the mid-1990s. In 1997, an insurance reimbursement system was developed based on EDI, which can electronically process nationwide medical insurance reimbursement. In 2002, medical law was amended to allow EMR usage, which initiated EMR development among medical institutions. There were many continued attempts to utilize those medical data, such as in exchanging EMR and business utilizing the big data platform. However, due to the lack of real-life application of strategy and the limitation of promoting a privately invested ecosystem, Korea adopted EMR certification system. And after that, lately, Korea is in process of establishing a long-term strategy to utilize those data. One of them being the standardization of the clinical terminology through SNOMED CT. Next, please. In order to take on the project, Korean Health Information Service was established under Korean Ministry of Health and Welfare. The main purpose of KHIS is to be in charge of EMR certification, to spread public medical standardization, and to create and promote the infrastructure to utilize available public healthcare data established in healthcare data. After established in September of 2019, KHIS is a young rising public service of the public health information category. Next, please. Korean Health Information Service has 4 headquarters: Business Planning Headquarters, EMR Certification Headquarters, KHIS Business Headquarters, and Data Promotion Headquarters. Within the Data Promotion Headquarters, Department of Healthcare Information Standardization is taking the role of Korean National Relay Center of SNOMED CT. There are 4 participants from this department in this expo. Next, please. To promote the spread of SNOMED CT, Korean Human Resource Development Institute for Health and Welfare is holding SNOMED CT education classes. Now I'd like to introduce you to the details. Next, please. The 2-day training program was offered 6 times in total, 2 times in 2020 and 4 times in 2021 by the institute. The participants were those who were in the charge of standard clinical terminology work in public sector, such as Ministry of Health and Welfare, Korea Health Information Service, Health Insurance Review and Assessment Service, and Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency, and those in private sectors, such as hospitals and vendors. The total number of the participants were 168 over 2 years of training. Out of them, 140 participants in the evaluation surveys after training. Most of them had public health as their educational backgrounds, and 30% of them are employed by the hospital as the figure. Next, please. 2-day training course consists of 5-hour lectures covering topics such as introduction, concept model introduction, introduction to expressions, and mapping introduction and basics, and MRCM, and 9 hours mapping practicum covering mapping medical diagnosis, chip complaint procedure, evaluation procedure, past history and family history terms to SNOMED CT. Courses were offered either online or offline, depending on the situation of the COVID-19 pandemic in South Korea. Mapping practicum was conducted in small groups based on similar mapping experiences. The table shows the topics of training and the time allocated to each topic. Next, please. And these are the pictures of online and offline training courses. We used Zoom for the online courses, and when it's the situations are okay, we got together and use the computers in the same room. Next, please. And out of 168 participants, a total of 140 participants filled the 3 types of evaluation surveys, and which was training satisfaction survey and perceived knowledge and skills of mapping survey, and usefulness of the training at the workplace survey. Next, please. Yeah, this is the satisfaction level, and it was surveyed upon the completion of the training course. Satisfaction with 7 sub-areas: course content, level of training, training methods, pre-training information, course management, training materials, and competency improvement were measured with 5-point Likert scale. Overall satisfaction scores and 7 sub-areas satisfaction scores are presented in the figure. Next, please. Perceived effectiveness of the training and knowledge and skills in 5 types of domains covered in the mapping practicum were measured with 5-point Likert scale, 1 very low to 5 very high, before and after the training. The participants' knowledge and skills were improved in all types of domains as shown in the figure, with the highest perceived improvement in past history and family history domain as 1.29 points, and the lowest perceived improvements in evaluation procedure domains as 1.14 points. Next, please. And the participants were asked how helpful were what they learned when they returned to the workplace with 5-point Likert scale, 1 not helpful to 5 very helpful after 3 months of training. They replied that the training course were helpful at their workplace, 3.75 in 2021 out of 5 points. And next, please. We're going to the conclusion and suggestions. So the SNOMED City Training and Education Program is one of the facilitators to adopt SNOMED City, according to the researchers. Mapping training program was one of the training programs introduced by the Korean Ministry of Health and Welfare as one of the SNOMED City adoption strategies in Korea since South Korea joined the SNOMED International in 2020. The training courses were offered 6 times to 168 participants. According to 3 types of evaluation survey of the participants, it was found that the participants were satisfied with the training. Their perceived knowledge and skills were improved after the training, and what the participants learned was very helpful at their workplace. In order to speed up the adoption of SNOMED City in Korea, more advanced SNOMED City training and education programs, such as implementing, authoring, data analytics, decision support, are needed. What we have learned from the mapping training program will benefit us to introduce these advanced SNOMED City training and education programs in the near future. And next, please. Yes, if you have any questions, you can contact by my email or Hyunet Park's email on the slide. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, Hannah. We'll open the floor to questions. If you're in the room, please raise your hand and I'll pass you the microphone. And if online, please raise a question through the Zoom interface.
I'm Ole Morgan from the Norwegian NRC. I have a question. Thank you for a nice presentation. Did you develop the content of this course yourself, or did you reuse material for SNOMED International courses?
We used the material from the foundation course of SNOMED International, but we made the mapping materials, the source terms from Korea terms. We made that and provide that to the trainees and map together with even with the post coordination.
Can I ask another question also? You said the course is a 2-day course,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Have you discussed making a kind of a additional course later, or you will direct the people to take SNOMED International courses in that case, or do you find that sufficient in the 2 days course?
It's not really sufficient, but it's an intensive course, and they can try everything they wanted to try, and then ask every questions, because the group was 6 people with the trainer and trainees. So I think it was a nice environment to get the information what they need. And there are many people are now taking the course from SNOMED International as well, the foundation course and implementing courses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'll see if there are questions online. No questions online. One question for myself. What are your plans for future training? You mentioned advanced stuff. Where do you think you go next?
Okay. Actually, this program was held by Korea Human Resource Development Institute for Health and Welfare, but they are going to move the program to KHIS, which is NRC of the South Korea. So I believe they make their courses. This is the course for the mapping, but there are only the basic course. They provide that only online through YouTube. So maybe we can take that one. And another course for, I think we will we need the offering platform education course later for institutions adoption of SNOMED CT, I think.
Thank you very much. With that, I think we conclude the session. Oh, another question. Sorry, I haven't seen the other. Yeah, we go.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
I was wondering, are considerations of bringing SNOMED courses into a curriculum of universities or of upcoming generations, put it as such? And if so, how does let's say the government of education incorporate other talks around that? Maybe you can give some insight.
I don't think we have talked about the education course in the college, but every hospital and every vendors in South Korea is now really are interested in the SNOMED CT. So maybe we are going to need more and more courses, I believe. Thank you.
All coming out now.
I have two short presentations. Many.
Hi, I'm from the French Yale Agency. I was wondering if you had any idea of the basics, the previous SNOMED CT knowledge of the participants. Do they know much about SNOMED, or they didn't know anything before the training?
Oh, before that, we had the government leading projects. We had the Korean version of ICD, and we mapped that to the SNOMED CT, and also the health insurance reimbursement code. We mapped that to the SNOMED CT as well. And there are some kind of spotted projects, but after we joined the SNOMED International, the interests are really expanding right now. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Inge from the Dutch NRC. I wondered, one of the evaluation topics was about the usefulness. Do you know how they use it after training? Like, do they execute mappings, or is it more about awareness?
Yeah, nowadays the hospitals map their local institution code to SNOMED CT separately. So they use that when they go back to work. But we are thinking of more generated mapping organizations. So yeah, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, in that case, we'll conclude the session. Thank you very much. It's been very, very interesting.
Thank you.
Online delegates can join another session through the event lobby. And thank you very much.
Thank you.